renowned author Charles Dickens, in his brilliant book, A Tale of Two Cities, opened that particular novel with these words: "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." Well, hopefully, now after 106 days in the wilderness, we can flip that around. The worst times are behind us, the good times are ahead. But if you're coming to Club Menangle on Saturday night, it will be exciting times. A brilliant 10-event program, and patrons are back. If you're double jabbed, with all the news, is a very relieved CEO, Mr. Bruce Christensen. Well, Bruce, great to see you back on track. What was more difficult, running a multi-million-dollar business from arm's length or homeschooling?
Definitely homeschooling and finding a place that was to get a corner in the house where I could actually do my work from. I think most days I was moving about 3 times during the day, so it was certainly great to get back actually on track yesterday for the first time. So,
sense of relief, Bruce, when you got behind the desk once again?
Oh yeah, and particularly as you said at the start, Mick, we're now heading in the right direction, and I think that's the most exciting part for all of us. I mean, we want to race, we want to entertain people, we want to provide hospitality for people, and as a business, not being able to do all those things has been difficult. I mean, we're very thankful to have raced through this. That's been quite incredible, but it's the whole package we want to offer, and very relieved to be able to sort of do that again going forward.
I was going to mention that, Bruce, the fact that you are relieved that we have been able to manage this 106-day lockdown on the back of what we've had 18 months prior to that. With the industry going forward and thriving, you must be very pleased with the way everything's been done here on course in your absence.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, from a racing point of view, I mean, David Watson as our racing manager is outstanding, and the relationship that he has with the participants is fantastic. And the conduct of the participants and the work of Harness Racing New South Wales, everyone working together to keep the racing going has been absolutely incredible. I mean, we've had some good fortune, you've got to say, really, given the number of cases that have been going on around us and the area that the track is located in. But that really is due some good fortune, but primarily to the fantastic work of the participants and the whole industry.
Yeah, I put it down to the participants and the whole industry, Bruce, is totally professional, and the due diligence just going above and beyond.
Yeah, so the protocols, obviously, the first step is putting correct protocols in place, and we thank Harness Racing New South Wales and, of course, New South Wales Health for that as well. But then it's the adhering to those that actually makes it work. I mean, we've seen that so many dramas through the country where just one person lets everyone down by making a stupid mistake, and we've had this population of participants has just adhered to those conditions, and that's why we've been able to keep on going.
Well, let's check the list, Bruce. It's a long one as far as the participants and owners. We'll start with the owners first. What can they expect from Saturday onwards? So
in terms of hospitality-wise, things are fairly normal, I've got to say. So providing they're double vaccinated or have the medical exemption that they can show, they can come onto the facility and they can enjoy pretty much as they would have in the past. We have restrictions in terms of our numbering, but we'll look after that side of things. So the main difference, I suppose, for owners at this stage is the segregation of participants. So unfortunately at this stage they won't be able to go down to the stables, which I know most owners love to do. So we are back, I suppose, similar times to what we were last year when we reopened, and that was keeping the participants in a separate area of the track to the patrons. And unfortunately, owners are in the same boat as the other patrons in that way, that they will have to stay in the hospitality section of the complex.
Speaking of the patrons, Bruce, booking for a restaurant will be essential.
That's right. I mean, those reduced numbers, and they're not too bad. I mean, like our restaurant currently has a capacity of around the 200 mark. I mean, we can normally get up to 350 in there. So whilst it's not to the full extent, it's still a reasonable number. We've got the outside areas, of course, we can use as well. But certainly the safest bet to protect and make sure you get a spot is to book.
How are the initial inquiries going?
Very, very good. We've got I think the numbers at last count were about 120 for this, booked into the restaurant already for this coming Saturday night. We've also had the Menangle Country Club open yesterday for the first time, and had 300 people there which is, for a Monday is just outstanding, and the fact that we are sort of a distance out of most of Campbelltown, so for 300 people to choose us as their venue for the first day on Freedom Day was outstanding, and just shows what reputation we've established in that business. And of course the chefs are the same chefs at the two venues, so the standard of the hospitality is the same at both those locations. So those that do come out here Saturday night will be well fed, and as you mentioned earlier, are going to see some fantastic racing.
Whereas in relationship to the country club, and also of course here, of course the fastest track in the Southern Hemisphere, you mentioned the popularity last Monday. Moving forwards, this will be the entertainment capital of this particular district.
We're so fortunate. I mean, the decisions made by those many years ago have really sort of played beautifully for us today, because we have so much land here, and as this area grows, we can grow with it. So we've talked about establishing this entertainment precinct for a number of years now. As the population actually starts to spread to here, which we can now see is happening, houses now will start being built in the next few months. We'll grow with it, and we'll enter more entertainment options will be offered as that occurs. So, I mean, places like your Penrith Panthers and these sorts of other areas that have grown with their area will be the same, and have fantastic entertainment offerings for people.
And the roadwork around Menangle now is on the improve. For those who haven't been here since the lockdown commenced on June 26th, the last time we had Saturday crowds, there's now a new roundabout there you can see from the Space Shuttle.
Yes, it's a very large roundabout. I hadn't actually seen it completed until I returned yesterday myself, so it is very large, but it's certainly much easier to get in and out now than it was, as you say, before lockdown. So those that had sort of encountered those roadworks, and it was quite frustrating. It took a long time to build that, but the great news with that roundabout is it's there to help people access these new estates that are coming into play. So it means that residential spread I spoke about is getting very close now, and that's a fantastic thing for the country club, but it's a fantastic thing for trackside, for the racetrack. It's to have people that close to our facilities is fantastic.
That's going to be vital, Bruce, when we move forward, and we're going to move forward now to the Inter-Dominion Carnival, which will be upon us before we know it. Once again, bookings for the Inter-Dominion, get in early to avoid disappointment, and of course you can play off with the country club as well.
That's right. So from a bookings point of view, I mean, yes, we're hopeful that if things go to plan with the government roadmap, that come the Inter-Dominion final will be at full capacity. Now, obviously things have to work to plan, so the safest way to make sure you don't miss out is to book. The first round of heats occurs on the 27th of November, which is before those the last relaxation in restrictions is planned for. So certainly for that night you need to make sure you book. But Inter-Dominion final, I mean, it'll be capacity, like particularly for hospitality areas. So if people are keen to be sort of watching that fantastic event from indoors and air conditioning and fantastic food, you want to get in and book now. So it's always a given. It's going to be a sellout.
Yeah, I think between now and New Year, Bruce, it's going to be party time.
Oh, 100%, Mick. Everyone's, I know personally, been in lockdown myself, in a hotspot LGA especially, not being able to do anything at all. There's just so many people just looking forward to getting out and about, and we've got great entertainment offerings here at both facilities. So, as you say, whether it be Christmas parties or just general parties, it will be party time. Just
to wrap up, Bruce, Team 2, once again, a highly professional program throughout, raising much needed money for ovarian cancer. Once again, Club Menangle and New South Wales Harness Racing joined forces, and outstanding rewards once again. Oh yeah, it's such a fantastic cause. We're proud to be part of it. The year just finished, and we've already committed to go again. The club raised over $10,000, and that shows how fantastic our female participants are as well. I mean, there's 45 wins in that, I think it's a 6-week period that took place by female participants here at the track. So that shows what a vital role the ladies play in our sport to start with. But $370,000 or more than $370,000 raised by the industry across the country. It's a fantastic achievement. It's a great charity, and what I love about when you get to understand what they're doing is they're not just raising awareness, but they're actually educating. They've got survivors educating medical students who are then knowing what to look for, because it is such a difficult disease to diagnose. So
these sorts of aspects are fantastic because they're not just saving a couple of lives, they're saving thousands of lives. So we're proud to be a part of it, and as I say, we've committed again for next year, and I'm sure for many more to come.
Well, Bruce, great to see you back. Upwards and onwards, and just the good times from now on.
Thanks, Mick.